Good afternoon, class. Today we talked about estimating products. Now, in your homework tonight, you'll have some problems that look like what we did today in class. Let's take a look at our first problem, 4 times 62, right here. So, this problem is not one that was on your sheet tonight, but we can talk about it to figure out how to solve the problems. Now, when we estimate, we have two options. We can round or we can use what we call compatible numbers. As most of you realize in class today, compatible numbers is a little bit harder to work with. So most of the time I suggest we just round to find our answer. But remember, it is what you are comfortable with is what you should use. So let's take our problem 4 times 62. If I were to round this, I would keep the 4 because that is an easy number to work with. But I don't know my 62 facts, so I can't do 62 times 4 in my head. So I need to change my 62 to a number that I can easily multiply. So I'm going to round it. Now, if you remember with our rounding rules, we are rounding to the tens place. So I look to the right, and I have a 2. And the 2 reminds me to keep the 6 the same. So my answer to rounding 62 is 60. Now I can do 4 times 60 in my head. Okay? 4 times 6 is 24. And then we add in our 0. So we have a base. We multiply 4 times 6 to get our base of 24. And then we add in our 0. Now before we go on to the next problem, let's talk about when to round up and when to stay the same. Remember from earlier in the year and in last year, and even all the way back down to 2nd grade, you've learned how to round. You remember that 5 or more, so 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, you round up. And for 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you stay the same. Okay, let's take a look at our next problem. 9 times 673. Okay, I'm actually going to rewrite it at the bottom of the page because I ran out of room. So 9 times 673. We might first decide, oh, I want to round my larger number, my 673, because I think that's the one that's going to be harder to look at. But let's take a close look at this problem. What if we were to round the 9 to the closest 10? We would end up with a problem that would look like this. And now I should see some light bulbs going off, and you should see, oh, I'm just multiplying by 10. So 1 times 673 would give us our base of 673, and that is because of the identity property of multiplication. Good job. Okay, and then we have our extra 0, and that gives us the answer of 6,730 for an estimate. Remember, these are not exact answers, just estimations. Let's take a look at one more example. 27 times 14. Now for this one, I'm not going to use rounding. I could, and I will show you how to do that in a second. Let's use compatible numbers. So, I would look at the 27 right here, and I would say, what is that close to that I can multiply easily? And I would say that would be close to 25. So my new problem is 25 times 14. Well, 25, whenever we see 25, we need to think of money in quarters. So, if we count up our quarters, and we use 14 of them, how much money would we have? So we have 25, 50, 75, $1, 125, 150, 175, $2, 225, 250, 275, $3, 325, and finally 350 will give us 14 of them. So I could get 350 as an estimate here. I also could solve this using rounding, and it would look like 27 would be rounded to 30 for the nearest 10. And I could stop here and times that by 14, and you'd be able to figure that one out. Or I could also round my 14 to 10. Okay, and now I have 3 times 1 to get my base of 3. Add 1 0, add 2 zeros. 300. So hopefully this helps you in your homework tonight, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we can continue on our work with estimation, using estimation to solve more difficult problems. Good luck. See you tomorrow.